what's coming up in today's service. Yeehaw!
It's 2 Chronicles 16:9, and it goes like this. The eyes of the Lord search the whole earth. The eyes of the Lord search the whole earth. The eyes of the Lord search the whole earth to strengthen the hearts of those fully committed to Him.
Hey guys, welcome to MPower Kids Church. We are so glad that you logged on and you are joining us again today. I know we look a little funny. I didn't do my hair this morning because it's pajama jam and I don't look good when I wake up in the mornings, and so I just didn't do anything with my hair. Plus I have my robe and my slippers and my pajama stuff on. Pastor Dale, what about you?
I'm wearing my unicorn slippers that I don't own.
Look at those. Those are cool. Are you going to show the kids?
No.
So welcome to MPower Kids Church. We are so glad you joined us for Pajama Jam. I hope that you guys are at home in your pajamas, and I hope that you are ready to have some fun today. Also, remember, we have a huge announcement for you that you are going to find out in just a few minutes. Are you guys ready for Kids Church?
Stay tuned.
Are you ready for Kids Church?
I just woke up.
Hey boys and girls, I'm Cole, and today I'm gonna tell you what you gotta know. So stand up and say it with me. I choose to do things that matter, not waste my life on things that scatter. Have you ever found yourself spending a lot of time on like a video game that was really popular, but now no one plays anymore? Or you dug a 4-foot hole in your backyard and then your parents tell you to fill it up? Yeah, I've been there, done that. Have you made a bunch of TikToks and then you get really embarrassed when people watch them? Or maybe you spend a lot of time on the yard and then 12 hours later the dandelions just come back up. You spent hours watching a Netflix series and it got canceled, but it didn't even have a good ending? In light of eternity, most of these things in life don't really matter, because eternity is forever. Each day we have a choice to spend our time on things that matter or things that scatter. So stand up and say it with me. I choose to do things that matter, not waste my life on things that scatter. And that's today's What You Gotta Know. So anytime someone asks you what you gotta know, you tell them.
Hey boys and girls, welcome to another MPower Kids online service. And yes, it's Pajama Jam Sunday. We are really excited to have you here today with us. And we're starting a brand new series. The series is called A Mist That Matters. A mist? You mean I missed? You missed? Like, who missed? No, not that kind of mist. What exactly is a mist? Well, a mist is something like this. A mist is a fog, right? It's kind of a vapor. So, like, have you ever been driving down the highway and you can't see very well because the mist is so thick or the fog is so thick? A lot of times it happens in the morning. But after morning, somehow it just disappears. Well, James 4:14 talks about our lives and how our lives are like a mist. They're here today and they're gone tomorrow. But even though our lives in light of eternity don't seem to matter that much, if we follow the things that God has set out for us to do, guess what? Our mist will matter, even in the light of eternity. We're going to talk about that today. Hope you can join us.
Okay, guys, so I'm going to announce the winner from last week. If you remember, the prize was a Sonic gift card, right? And so I'm going to announce the winner, and then I'm going to talk to you guys about the pajama contest. Okay, so the winner from last week for the Sonic gift card is Lennon Kelsch. That is awesome. Congratulations, Lennon. You are so fantastic. We are so glad you won that. We are going to get you that Sonic gift card. Now, kids, remember, she won it because there was a lot of commenting and sharing and liking the stuff, okay? Just the same way you guys win. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you the prizes that we are going to give away for this week's competition, and I'm going to tell you what we are looking for, okay? So before we talk about what is going to be given away, I'm going to tell you what we're looking for. Okay, so if you're all in your pajamas, which we hope you are, because I am, Pastor Dale is, everybody here is, and let me tell you, it's really weird. I feel really weird being in kids' church with my pajamas on. That's so weird. But that's just the way it is today because it's Pajama Jam, okay? So I hope all of you guys are at home in your pajamas. I'm going to tell you there are 8 prizes that we are giving away, okay? And so these are the categories that we want you to post in, okay? We are going to be judging these, okay? We need pictures of the brightest pajamas, the pajamas that are just super bright, okay? So the brightest pajamas, we need pictures of the most people in one picture in your pajamas. Now remember, when we went live the other night, we said you could even include your animals if they're in pajamas. That would be great too, okay? So send us pictures of the most people in one picture in your pajamas. We need you the most words. So the most words that are written on your pajamas. We need that one. Also, the softest looking pajamas. We're going to be looking for the soft pajamas. I love soft pajamas, as you can tell. And so that's one of my favorite categories, the softest looking. We also need the weirdest, the funkiest, the craziest pajamas that you can find. There's a category for that as well. There's also a category for the craziest slippers, okay? If you have some crazy, weird slippers, send us a picture because we want to see them. You could actually win a prize for that. And then we also have a Miss Sarah's choice and a Pastor Dale choice. And that means you can win a prize just because Pastor Dale likes your outfit and because I like your outfit, okay? So let me run through those super quick, really fast, and then I'm going to tell you what to do with them. Okay, so we have the brightest, the most people in one picture, the pajamas with the most words, the softest looking, the weirdest, the craziest slippers, Miss Sarah choice, and a Pastor Dale choice. Now, you may be asking, what do I do with those? Like, what do I do with the pictures? Here's what you do. Okay, if you put hashtag MPower Kids, we will find it. So if you post it on your Facebook page or Instagram, and you just put hashtag capital M, P-O-W-E-R, MPower Kids, we will see it, and that's how we're going to judge, okay? You can even send them to Pastor Dell or I through text message or through our Facebook page, but we really, really want you guys to try to do hashtag MPower Kids, okay? And so then we are going to announce next week who won all those prizes, okay? So I'm just gonna run through prizes for you really quick. We have 2 marshmallow shooters. We have 2 ultimate boxes of crafts. We have an All About Me board. We have an MPower Kids t-shirts. And then we have some really cool boomerangs. If you win this prize, you get 3 of those boomerangs. We have a set, we have 3 of the big, huge glow sticks. You get 3 packages of those. And then this one, you get a basketball and a Frisbee together. So there's something up here for everybody, boy, girl. You are gonna love the prizes that we have. So send those pictures, hashtag MPower Kids.
Welcome to Silly Songs with Flip. Someone, the part of the show where someone comes out and sings a silly song.
Today's big announcement is we're not having church. So every Sunday morning you'll still have to search on YouTube, Facebook, or church online. But it's okay, boys and girls, it'll be fine. Cause when I'm not setting up, I've got more time. Sit back here and learn how to rhyme.
Figaro, Figaro, Figaro. What you gotta know? I choose to do things that matter, not waste my life on things that scatter.
Okay, guys, so we're going to play a really quick game. This isn't going to take very long, so I encourage you guys to play with us. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit the ball back and forth, and we're going to see how long we can keep it off the grounds, how many hits we can get without it touching the grounds, okay? So we want you guys at home to do this. We encourage you to go grab a ball. It can be any kind of ball. It can even be a balloon. It could be, I don't know, a piece of paper, whatever you got. And we're going to see how long we can keep it up in the air. Are you guys ready? We do this at home a lot because we play a lot of volleyball, and so we do this a lot. So we might be all right at this. You guys think we're going to be pretty good at this? Okay, all right. So here we go. We're going to count together. Everybody get ready. Get yours at home. Get it ready. And we're going to see how many you can get and see if you can beat us, okay? All right, here we go. We got 45. That is pretty impressive. We don't do that good with the volleyball. Let's try it one more time. You guys at home too. If you messed up, that's okay. Just keep going. No big deal. All right. See if we can beat 45. Are you ready? You guys at home? home, try to beat the record that you had last time too. If you're playing and it stops, just pick it up and keep going. All right, we're gonna do it one more time. Here we go. Okay, not so good that time. We only got 19, but that's okay. Hey, you know what? One time, Pastor Dale and I played volleyball, and we hit it back and forth over 500 times. That is a true story. You can ask Pastor Dale. All right, hope you enjoyed that game. That is something that you can do at home with your families. You guys can play that game. It's easy. Go in the yard. Your parents may not like you in the living room. Just go play that game. Have some fun together. See you guys.
It's time for tonight's bedtime story. So get your blanket and your stuffing and get ready. Bible story.
2 Chronicles 34:1. Josiah was 8 years old when he became king. He reigned in Jerusalem 31 years.
He did what was right in the eyes of the Lord. He lived the way King David had lived. He didn't turn left or right.
In the 8th year of his reign, while he was still young, he began to seek the God of his father David. In his 12th year, he began to purge Judah and Jerusalem of high places, the Asherah poles and the idols.
Under his direction, the altars of Baals were torn down. He cut to pieces the incense altars that were above them, and smashed the Asherah poles and the idols. These he broke to pieces and scattered over the graves of those who had sacrificed to them.
In the 18th year of Josiah's reign, to purify the land and the temple, he sent the ruler of the city with Joah, son of Joaz, the recorder, to repair the temple of the Lord his God.
The men did the work faithfully.
While they were bringing out the money that had been taken into the temple of the Lord, Hilkiah the priest found the book of the law of the Lord that had been given through Moses.
Then Shaphan, the secretary, informed the king, "Hilkiah, the priest, has given me a book." Then Shaphan read it in the presence of the king.
When the king heard the words of the law, he tore his robes.
"Go and ask the Lord for me."
I'm going to bring disaster on this place and its people because they've forgotten me and worshipped other gods.
Because your heart was responsive and you humbled yourself before God and you heard what he spoke against this place and its people, and because you humbled yourself before me and tore your robes and wept in my presence, I have heard you, declares the Lord.
Now I will gather you to your ancestors, and you will be buried in peace. Your eyes will not see all the disasters I am going to bring on this place and on those who live here.
Josiah removed all the detestable idols in the territory belonging to the Israelites. He had all who were present in Israel serve the Lord their God as long as he lived. They did not fail to follow the Lord, the God of their ancestors.
Isn't it exciting how young Josiah was when he became king? I mean, think about that. Most of you watching right now are already 8 years old, or you're going to be pretty soon. But guys, can you imagine not just being in charge of a puppy that sometimes you forget to feed and, clean up after and all that other kind of stuff, but can you imagine being responsible for an entire country? Well, I can't imagine being responsible for an entire country. More than that, I can't imagine Gavin being in charge of an entire country. But one thing I noticed from the very beginning of this story is how young he was when he began to seek after God. Did you look at the math? He became king at 8 years old. And by the time he was 16, he figured out he couldn't do all of this on his own. He needed God's help. It says he began to seek after God with his entire heart. And as he began to seek after God, guess what? His actions followed his heart. When you begin to seek after God, that's something you're going to notice too. Not just you, but the people around you. Because when you seek after God with your heart, your actions are going to follow too. Josiah had an ace of hearts. He was fully committed to God. Look at some of the cool, amazing things that he did. The first thing he did was he got rid of all of the high places, all of the idols. It says he crushed them and ground them up, and he sprinkled them over the graves of people who used to worship there. That's pretty serious stuff. Not only did he destroy all of the idols there, but he began to repair the house of God. They raised money, and then they began to fix up all the things that were broken down or the things that needed to be repaired. Kind of like we're doing right now here at First Assembly. You want to see what's going on? While they were bringing out all the money they had raised to rebuild the temple, they found a very special book, a book that had been lost for a very long time. It was the law, the books of Moses, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. But as the king was read from this book, something happened. He realized that because of the way that the Israelites had worshiped and served idols instead of the one true God, that the promises that came from this book were fire and destruction for the people of Israel because they hadn't worshiped God. But Asa's heart was so amazing before God. He tore his clothes because he was so sorry that the people hadn't followed the book of the law. He asked, "Where can we find someone who can tell us what God is going to do?" And then he went and he found out that because his heart was so much towards God, that God was going to hold back on his punishment for the land of Israel. He was going to wait until after Josiah had died. Imagine all the people that Josiah saved because he had decided that his heart was going to seek completely after God. Josiah wasn't alive that long. He ruled for 31 years, and he was only about the same age I am right now. But even though he was like a mist, and even though most of his story has been lost to history, and everything about him is found in about 2 chapters of the Bible, during his time, Josiah found a way to make sure that his mist, his life, made a difference. And we're going to find out how to do that today too.
Figaro, Figaro, Figaro. What you gotta know? I choose to do things that matter, not waste my life on things that scatter.
everybody. As you can tell, I am so excited to bake blueberry muffins for you today. Are you guys ready? I'm going to talk you through step by step how to make blueberry muffins. Okay, the first thing you need is a bowl. You need to get a bowl and make sure there's nothing dirty in your cooking area, like rats. Oh, there's a rat. You do not want rats in your cooking area, so get rid of your rats. Yep, throw those out. Okay, so you have an empty bowl. I'm going to show you the empty bowl. Okay, the next thing you need is your baking supplies. You need your blueberry muffin mix. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the mix. I'm going to go ahead and grab the mix. Oh, yep, I found it finally. I don't know, silly. And then you're going to open your mix. You're going to shake it, and you're going to open it. I'm going to open, okay. You're going to open it, and then you're going to, just get rid of that. And then we're going to dump it in the bowl. First thing, you're going to dump it in the bowl. Yep. So I get messy when I cook. Sorry about that. And then you're going to take your cup of water. You just need 1 cup of water. Yep, and you're going to dump it into the bowl. Yes, you can dump it into the bowl, and then you're going to get your baking spoon, and you're going to stir. Sometimes I get really excited when I stir. Okay, I'm going to stop stirring. I'm going to stir more gentle this time, though, because it needs to be stirred very gently. Yes. So there I am, stirring. Okay, and then you're going to put I like to lick it, too. Sometimes you might, so good. I really like to laugh while I make blueberry muffins. It's my favorite. I don't know. It's funny. Love the taste of those blueberry muffins. Gotta wipe it off my face. I love to cook. It makes me happy. Can you tell? Okay. The next thing we're going to do to make your delicious blueberry muffins, you don't even need eggs. Praise the Lord. I'm so glad I don't have to add eggs. You're going to take your spray, your Crisco spray, because you want to make sure that your pan is greased. So you're going to shake it up. Yep, shake it up just like I did right there. And you're going to shake it, and then we're going to spray. We're going to spray our muffin tin. Yes, because we don't want our muffins stick. Ugh. Sometimes I go a little crazy with spray, okay? And then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take your muffin mix and you're going to put it into the muffin tin. Oh, that's a really good job. I'm doing so good. It's like I'm a professional almost. All right, you're going to put those in there. Yes. Oh, and I still have a lot of extra. I'm going to lick the bowl a little bit more because that's tasty. Oh, yum. I love I love licking the bowl. It's so tasty. And then you put the muffins in the oven for 5 to 7 minutes at 350 degrees. And then pops out delicious tasting muffins. Are you guys impressed? Well, that was Baking with Miss Sarah. I hope you guys enjoyed. Give me a high five. Yep. I'm going to be tasting that for a long time. All right. Well, hopefully we can do this again. That was so fun. Thank you guys for joining us with Baking with Miss Sarah.
Figaro. What you gotta know? I choose to do things that matter, not waste my life on things that scatter.
Isn't it amazing just how much Josiah accomplished while he was here? Yeah, he might have been a mist, but think about all of the things that he accomplished. I mean, he took and destroyed all of those idols. He rebuilt the temple of God. He took a people that was completely outside of the law of God, and he transformed the entire nation to follow God once again. That's incredible. But have you thought about what else in his life he did? I mean, he was alive for 39 years. All of those things that he accomplished, where are they? The things that you do in a normal week. how many of those things do you think will be remembered? Isn't it amazing that most of the things that we think are so important don't really amount to much? Even a couple of weeks later, a few months later, much less 100 years later, what about in light of eternity? Think about some of the greatest accomplishments of the entire world. I mean, think about the Great Wall of China. I know most of you are pretty young, but I bet if most of you ask your parents, they don't know who built it. I've been there. I don't know who built it. Most of those things are long gone, long lost. Maybe people know them, but most of us don't. What about the Brooklyn Bridge? Do you know what the Brooklyn Bridge is? Most of your parents probably do know what the Brooklyn Bridge is, but who built it? Anybody know? Right. In its day, the Brooklyn Bridge was probably an amazing accomplishment. It's still an amazing accomplishment. But does anybody really know who built it? All the work that went into that, and yet that accomplishment is forgotten by most everyone. If that's what happens to the great major accomplishments in this life, what about all the little stuff we waste our time on? I mean, when I was 12, I used to play a game called Jez Ball. That's right, Jez Ball. Well, let me tell you a little bit about Jez Ball. It goes kind of like this. There's the ball, and it bounces around a square, and you have to eliminate most of the dead space. That's right. This is a complex game. This is really tough. But I spent hours upon hours upon hours playing this game, and when I finally set the record, it was 8 hours straight. That's right. I played this game for 8 hours straight. I used to also be really good at a game called Delta Force. Now, when you play Delta Force, it's pretty simple. You just got to get the other guy before he gets you. Does that sound kind of familiar with most of the games that you guys play? Yeah. Well, if that doesn't quite get you, how about a game called Minesweeper? Okay? Now, if you look at your parents right now, they will tell you this was the coolest Windows game of its time. Minesweeper was right up there with Spider Solitaire. And I knew a girl who was so amazing at this game, it literally blew my mind. And yet, even though I spent all this time and I beat these games, none of you care. It's something that didn't matter. It's something that had no eternal value. And yet, how much of our time do we spend on things that are just like that? Guys, Josiah spent his time on things with eternal value. Now, I'm sure he still wasted time watching Netflix occasionally, but sorry, you're right, Caden. There was no Netflix back then. But I'm sure he wasted a little bit of time. But he found time for the things that made his life matter. He spent time on things with eternal value. Things like relationships. If you look at what he did, the first thing that he did from a young age was he spent time on what mattered most, his relationship with God. And when that relationship began to change him from the inside out, it changed his actions. And when it changed his actions, he began to have influence on the people outside of himself. At that time, he began to clean up all the stuff that was going on around him, and he got rid of stuff that was coming between the people around him and God. It wasn't just his life that he was concerned about, but he was concerned with the people around him. Think about all those people that he saved from destruction because he decided that he was going to follow after God. He helped them to get back in a right relationship with God. Guys, the thing about relationships is that relationships have eternal value because inside of each and every one of us, God has placed an eternal soul. There's something inside of me and something inside of you and something inside of every other person that is going to last for all eternity. God breathed that into us at creation, and that is going to make a difference in eternity. Guys, what are you going to spend your life doing? What are you going to spend your life investing in? Because we can spend time on things that scatter, or we can spend our lives doing things that matter. My great-great-grandfather decided that he was going to spend some of his time praying for his descendants. Do you know what descendants are? It's like his children's children's children, kind of like that song we sang for you the other day. And your children and their children and their children and their children, that kind of thing, right? He decided he was going to pray for 4 generations. Now, that means that I'm number 4. I'm the 4th generation, which means my kids are in trouble. He didn't pray for them. What are we going to do? Well, that's not exactly right? Because does that mean I didn't have a choice but to follow God just because my great-great-grandfather prayed for it? No, I still have a choice. But do you think that those prayers had an eternal value? Do you think that those prayers made an eternal difference and affected my life? I think they did too. Well, here's the cool thing. My parents have already started praying for 4 more generations. So that's me and my kids and their kids and their kids. Well, maybe I should spend some of my time doing something with eternal value, like praying for my descendants, praying for my family, praying for my parents. Do you think prayers have eternal value? I think so too. Guys, the relationships that you have in this life, those have eternal value. One day, every Roblox house that you built will be gone. One day, every Minecraft world that you create will be destroyed. There won't be any evidence, and no one will care. No one will care what your Minesweeper record was. But guys, the relationships that you take time to invest in each and every day, those have eternal value. That's what Josiah invested in, his relationship with God and his relationship with others. I want you to think about this for a minute. When they came to Jesus and they said, Jesus, what are the 2 most important commandments? What did he say? Yeah, that's right. Bible quizzers, you got it. He said, love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and with all your strength. And then he said, love your neighbor as yourself. See, all of the law, all of the book that they found when they cleaned out the temple, Jesus said all of the law is accomplished by loving God and loving others. Guys, I hope that just like Josiah, you will start out young in life, seeking after the things that really matter, putting those things at the top of your list of things to do in life. Thank you very much for joining us today. I hope that you will join us next week where we can see you and we can high five from afar. Because guys, we were made for relationship. God created us for relationship from the very beginning. And that has eternal value. Be sure to come to church next week at 9 o'clock or 10:30, and then join us again later online for another episode of A Mist That Matters.
You should just have bloopers.
Hey, isn't it in...
There is good news. He is binding up the broken.
And Naphtali. Naphtali? I'm not sure I like that part. Anyway.
It's time for the animal story about pick your animals up and...
But each...
Okay, so when I wait this stuff. Okay, are you ready? I know.
Josiah had something that was real in them.
Each day we have a choice to spend our time on things. Or maybe you spent hours watching a Netflix series, but it got canceled. My voice is so stuttery. Today's What You Gotta Know says, I spend my life on things that matter, not nothing that's wrong, and I smell like a platter. I was so close.